Hi guys! Thank you so much for tuning back into my channel. This week the video is a tad bit different. So from mid-October to mid-November I actually went on a 1-month vacation, and I just wanted to show you guys how I did it. Budgeting wise, what I guess there is no tricks, but what I did to book my tickets, to make sure I flew, and just all my experiences were as cheap as possible. Let's get right into it. Originally I was going to go to Chicago, then Wisconsin, then back to Chicago, then Ohio, then I was going to go to New York, then I was going to end my trip off in Atlanta and then come home. But the Atlanta trip fell through because my friend had other plans, and then the Ohio trip fell through because it was going to be a super long drive from where I was at, and so I decided to just cancel it and just stick with the 3 places and actually stay there a little bit longer, which I'm really glad that I did. So what I did was, on October 16th, I flew into Chicago and I stayed there for 2 days, and I took Delta. And one of the things that I did to keep the flight costs low was I literally packed in a carry-on for the entire trip. I probably took 4 planes and I packed a carry-on. So that was one thing that made this flight cheap. I'm gonna put it up here, carry on only. So all these prices were a little bit cheaper, but I kind of booked them a little last minute. But still, everything, all my flights were under $100. So this one was $96.80, and I booked one-way tickets. So that in itself made it way cheaper to fly. On the 18th, I went to Wisconsin, and I was going to rent a car to go to Wisconsin, and that would have been for 5 days, but instead I stayed for 2 weeks. The rental car was going to be, I think, about $275 for the 5 days. But my sister ended up picking me up, and that kind of allowed me to stay the 2 weeks there, since I wasn't in a rush to return the rental car. So this was kind of like obsolete now. So then after Wisconsin, I went back to Chicago and she drove me. And from Chicago, I stayed up until the 6th. So November 6th, I went to New York. And I was there for, again, 5 days, because that was the tail end of my trip. So on October 30th, I went back to Chicago, and I stayed there for 1 week, and my sister-in-law drove me back. So then I went to New York on the 6th for 5 days, and that flight I took Delta, and again I had no carry-on, so I didn't have a check bag, so all I had was a carry-on, and I paid $70.20 for this plane ticket. And on the 10th, I came back home and I flew Spirit. So I did have to pay for a carry-on, which was $25. And my flight back home, minus the 25, was $86.20. So altogether for plane, for travels, I paid $278.20 for 3 plane tickets, which would have been the same price as renting the car, which I definitely would have done it either way. So yes, so that was it. Then I spent about $150 for food, entertainment. I spent probably, I went to the observatory. I did a few attractions there, paid for parking, went to an observatory, went to the Bean in Chicago. The Bean was free, but all in all, like the touristy stuff or the attractions, I will just label it that, I'll round it off to $100. Okay, so what I have left over is $1471.80. All in all, together, I paid $625.38 in bills, and this was before leaving. So I have a leftover of $846.42. I ended up buying a Michael Kors bag before leaving, which I include in this trip. Minus 120. I'll do minus, it was 130. So I have $716.42. So I have $216.42 left over, and I actually forgot about, before this whole trip, I did do my eyebrows, which was $12, and then 45 eyebrows and eyelashes, and then another 45 for my nails, and that is $614.42. And then I did take a trip to visit my mom, and with food, gas, the rental car, and kind of splurging on her, I will add that to about $225. And so all in all, I had $389.42 left over from my entire trip, and essentially this carried over to November's bill, which allows me to pay for the little things and kind of keep me on track until my next pay period. So this was how I was able to go to 5 different places in under a month with $2,000. I bought one-way tickets to every place that I was going. I used just a carry-on. This was, in a sense, my budget for my 1-month vacation. Let me just write that down here. I didn't do anything big. It was really a vacation to relax and de-stress and take some time away from work and my daily routine. But yeah, I hope you guys like this, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye guys!